Hello, good evening, and welcome to another live stream. How are you doing tonight? Welcome, Mr. Twatterford, Mr. Vedros, Magic X, Lineback Awesome, the Toxic Avenger, Duvel, the Lunatic Fringe, the Lunatic Fringe, Micanthrope, and everyone else. Good evening, and thank you for the 66 months Duvel and the 53 months Magic X. How are you doing? I'm doing alright. I just came back from a 1.5 hour cycle, which was nice. I mean, just came back. Came back an hour ago. Ate, had dinner, had a shower. And now I'm ready to stream. 56. 53 months Magic X, whatever. Did I say 56? Close enough. It's a lot. Biked on any new roads? Yes, I completed, well, nearly completed, the village of Nijeveen today, which is a village near Meppel, and I have done nearly all the roads there. There's like one path I couldn't do because there were kids playing there, and there's like 1 or 2 other paths around like sports fields that I haven't done yet. But other than that, that one's nearly done. So that's pretty good going. Also, OpenRT2 0.5.1 has been released today. Look at this. Got some plugin stuff. Guests entertain statistic. We've seen that. That was mine and Aaron's. Let's see. Charger, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, that was an interesting one. Some flying coaster glitch, which I think got fixed before I made my overview on it, which I didn't even know. That was just a coincidence. There's a few more that I did here. Laydown roller coaster, that's also a thing that got fixed. Although that was also caused very recently. It was an OpenRT2 thing. Let's see, yeah, drop counter negative G stat requirements for flying roller coaster don't get nullified by having an inversion. That one's mine. Because I figured that one out a few weeks ago when I did my initial research for the overview. Benches don't reduce watching spots from 4 to 2 while other path editions do, which should be reversed. That was mine. I did that fix. Because I noticed that, unsurprisingly, while doing the research for the ride watching video. Guests choose to head for rides they've already ridden if they don't have a map. That one's mine too. I figured that one out while doing the research for the map video. And displayed airtime overflows after 655.35 seconds instead of 966.05 seconds. That's also mine. I figured that one when doing research for the airtime video, which hasn't released yet because it's not been done yet. There's another whole bug fix that's already ready to go, just needs to be approved around airtime. It's a whole confusing thing, but there will be a video about that, which of course all leads into a massive video about how the stats are calculated. But that one's like at least a month away. But it's one of my the how to excitement, nausea, and intensity get calculated is one of the videos I've highlighted with orange on my video ideas list, which means I expect it to be a massive one. It's going to be interesting. But today, thank you for the, how many was it? 30 months, okay. Today we are going to continue Southern Pacific Dunes. This is what we started last live stream. And basically it's a combination of Pacific Pyramids and Southern Sands, and Dynamite Dunes. So here you can see the coaster from Dynamite Dunes, everyone knows that, well, most people will know that. Then the landscape is basically the same between all 3 scenarios. Not identical, but close enough. There's this big hill and that smaller hills there and all the ones, and then this pyramids from Pacific Pyramids, obviously. So are the Sphinxi, which is the multiple Sphinxi, And the wooden roller coaster and also the inverted coaster are from Southern Sands. Now, of course, we trounced all over that with our ugly rides. So right now it's Marcel's Southern Pacific Dunes, which is a bit uglier. The Dynamite Blaster coaster was my first station brakes failure. Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if that goes for a lot of people, although could also be some some Diamond Heights stuff. And in RCT2 that doesn't happen anymore because you can't get a brakes failure until a ride's at least 2 years old in RCT2. In RCT1 it's different. But in Open RCT2 we're obviously playing the RCT2 engine, so we're also playing with that game logic. But speaking of that, you know Fiasco Forest, right? I'll drown and rename the park later. But you know Fiasco Forest, which is in Loopy Landscapes, I believe. No. There we go. This one. This park is supposed to have a bunch of crashes. Wooden Coaster I think crashes easily and does it have terrible stats? No, it doesn't. But the dinghy slide is supposed to have 5 dinghies that crash. But they don't. Just look. They're supposed to crash. In Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 they crash. But the physics changed slightly between Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Which means that in RCT2 they don't crash. They can if the guests are really heavy, but the guests that are on it when you load the park are not heavy enough for that. And there was a discussion yesterday about, upon loading this scenario, changing the mass of these boats, increasing it a little bit so that they will crash, because heavier boats retain more speed and thus go faster when on them hills. Which, of course, if you then just double close and restart it, it won't immediately crash again. But it's a very good thing to mimic what Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 did. So I hope that will actually be implemented. It's only been talked about, there's nothing has been programmed for it yet. Unless someone did that today, but we don't know, but I hope it will get implemented because it would be pretty cool. Okay, so rename the park. We're gonna name it Dynamite Pyramid Sands. That rolls just as nicely off the tongue, of course. And we're going to drown guest 1705. Who is already gone. So you're gonna have to pick a new one, Mr. Slime. Because 1705 has already probably gone home. Maybe we drowned them last live stream. I don't know. 1805. Nope. Also not possible. 1605. What do you have with 05? 1605 can die. They want to get off on splash boats. Well, you're gonna have to wait until you get off. But then you will die. Goodbye. Where's my drowning point? I had to yes, there it is. 1705 is today's date. Ah. Not for us Americans, not for them Americans though. For them it's 0517. Is 1444 still in the park? Yes. Yes, they are. Let's do a hard line. Hang on, what's our soft guest cap? Because we need to get 3,000 guests in 4 years. And we're on 2511. Okay, that's fine. We can do a hard line. We have time for that. Okay, where's the best place to build this far line? How about just on the very, very edge of the map? You know what, we'll just start with a very slow inversion. And we'll do some of this. Now a faster inversion. Oops, and then we immediately need to go up. That's a bit of a waste of speed, but that's where the park ends. Oh well. Yeah, might as well do a little bit of speed on there. Okay, hardline roll, and then we go down. There's always a chance I'm overdoing it a little bit. But I don't build hardlines often enough to have a really good gauge. Why is it not lowering? I'm trying to lower the ground. Why is it? Wait, I can hear it go. It's not spending money though. I think there's a little bug. Maybe because you're on the fence? Nope. Okay, remind me to report this. Just going to do this as a V2, just so in case we can't open this in the earlier version. That's the beauty of this. We can just, you know, go back. Although if just moving the ground is screwed, then I suspect I won't be the only one who notices it. Okay, whoops, that was water, but does it work? Yes. Okay, I've got 6 inversions on this. Surely that's too many. Surely I've overdone this, right? I can't imagine this is not too intense, but we'll see. Hey Pukno, welcome. They're just phasing through each other. Got my copy of Open, just tried altering the terrain, worked for me. Latest release too. I was not on the release, I was on the latest development. I think there were a few dev versions already since the release. How was that not a collision? I guess they can just kind of phase through each other when in that element. Yes, well, it's only slightly too intense. You know, 6 inversions. That's a lot. And yet it's only slightly too intense. So you're just going to remove one of the inversions. Then it should be fine. Because it's a dev version, it's not a P1 bug, more of a P2. What does P mean? Priority? I'm pretty sure this is a high priority bug, my friend. If that's what you mean. If I know for you it means penis slime. I think there are not many bugs that are higher priority than this. Of course, the absolute highest priority bugs are ones that corrupt save files. Then come the ones that crash the game. And then come like very major gameplay bugs, I would think, which this is definitely one of. Oh yeah, we can just go over that station. Nate. I'm pretty sure my last video used the word need very much. Like, a lot. I noticed it when recording it. Well, like, I think I'm just saying this every other sentence, basically. Anything found in the release version of the game should have a higher priority than the dev version. I mean, I guess. Yeah, you were talking where it was found instead of the kind of bug. Although I wouldn't say anything. Let's say, you know, the one where that I fixed, where benches did not reduce watching spots while bins and stuff did. That's not a high priority bug ever. And obviously that would be a way lower priority bug than not being able to alter ground. Hang on, I'll just mention this in the OpenRCT2 Discord server briefly. There we go. Just in case someone wants to get on it quickly. Right, here we have a hardline with 9.79 intensity. Yeah, if you're careful, we have 5 inversions on a hardline. Our G, you know, 2.12 lateral Gs, that's not too low. It's not that you can't do anything with it, it's just that without the boost that OpenRCT2 gave it, this would have only had, I believe, 3.9? It's either 1.4 or 1.6 at the boost. I believe 1.6, so it would have only had 3.9 excitement, which is a bit low. Okay, we do need to build more rides though. Let's build some flat rides. Our gas generation has slowed down because we have hit our soft gas cap. Okay, and how about a spiral slide? I love a spiral slide. We've talked about this recently before, but the spiral slide is just so iconic in its looks. It just improves the sight lines of any park. That's what makes it so amazing. I don't really know if it's particularly good. I don't think it's terrible. Especially if you put this on 5. Yeah, I think it has a decent throughput when you put that on 5. Do we have any spiral slide that currently has a line? No, that one just unpopular. I was wondering at the max throughput, you know? Oh, are we on? Yeah, I need to properly report this bug again. Because that is annoying. When you switch between, I believe it was 0.4.30 and earlier, if you switch like between that line, then your default inspection interval gets reset to 10 minutes. And I do it regularly. What would you think of an ability to charge for ATMs in OpenRCT2? not good. You know, if you have ATMs and they're being used, you're already making a lot of money. Charging for that is not going to make you very much more anyway. But it also, you're already making a lot of money if they're getting used a lot. So why would you then need to make even more money? Let's build a laydown coaster. We've just analyzed it. Not that we're really gonna make use of how we've analyzed it, because it's not like we're gonna build a micro one or anything. I feel like that would kind of weaken them, because guests would get less money and stay less time. I mean, it depends on how much you charge. You know, if you charge like $2, then they will get 48 instead of 50, which is not a very big difference. They would just have to go slightly more frequently. And then a half loop. To implement that feature, you would need to think about a lot of things. Not really. You know, you can just add... It would basically be like the toilets, you know. You would add this tab to it. You would charge however much. Then that would just be subtracted from how much your guests get, which is always 50. And it makes that. And you would need to implement some kind of limit for how much guests would want to pay. But that's all. It's not difficult to implement. There's already a whole entire function in the guest function, in the guest class, where about when guests should use ATMs and what should happen. So, I mean, I could do that before the end of the stream if you want me to. Well, no, if I want to, not if you want me to. Ground guest 1445. They're not around. I already remember that. Also, you nasty boy. Taking the opportunity away from Duvel to drown 1444. So what do you want to... Who do you want to... 1888. They are around. They're sucking on some white goodness. And now they're drowning. Trains on the side friction are stuck, are they? Ah, they are. Must have been an unfortunately timed breakdown. That happens. Alright, let's rename this. Mr. Federal said... Between raspberry and cherry. What does that mean? Okay, let's see if it makes this still. I mean, we're going from 40 meters, so it should easily make this. If I Google that, will I need to turn on safe search? I haven't got a clue. My baby. Oh, we saw the Echo Friday and it's currently between a raspberry and a cherry. Ah. That's very small. That's not a baby. That's a clump of cells. It will be a very nice baby very soon. Although it very much depends on your definition. When does something become human? Either way, congrats on it's all heart beating. Really? That early? One and a half centimeter. Damn. I mean, I'm just not a biologist, you know. I had a 6.1 on the biology exam, which is already kind of higher than expected. I mean, at least I took biology, I guess, but well, congratulations. It does, of course, have an interesting question in when does a person become a person? Because obviously, an egg cell and a sperm cell are not people. And when they're just combined, 1 second later, they're still not a person. But when the baby is born, it is a person. And most people would argue that 2 minutes before it's born, it's also a person. So, where's the cutoff? I mean, sometimes for lawmaking that's important, but it's also just an interesting philosophical debate. I do love this kind of element. Just a half a circle like that. You can only do that on the laydown and the flying. And kind of on the multi-dim, but that one does not have half loops available, so this specific element you can't. Ah, there's the ghost train. Here we see the difference between quarter heli, yeah, that's the multiple of helix now, and a normal heli, or half heli. I should probably head back to the station, because this be getting expensive. No large corkscrews. No. Let's see, that's at 1.5 meters. Does it make the... Yeah, it does make the corkscrew. Okay, that's not nice. We need to complete the thing. There we go. And some brakes. There we go. Not much money left. Not sure I'd call Marcel a chud. I don't even know what a chud is. I've heard the word, but I don't really know what it is. There we go. It's way too big lie down coaster. Fur Affinity, the furry art host, decided that life begins at conception by declaring oviposition smut art. What the fuck? Right. No. Urban Dictionary definition of chud. Cannibalistic, humanoid, underground dweller. Yes, that's me. Especially the cannibalistic part, that's just the story of my life. I'm sorry, this is the way you have to find out. What else do you think Marcel is doing with the peeps' corpses after he drowns them? Hey, now that was a secret between you and me. Oh, we got an award. Best custom designed ride. Yeah, baby! My custom designed rides are awesome. Oh, look at that. 8 point... Damn, that's a high excitement rating. We don't even have a vertical loop or interlocking. I mean, we have underground. We have lots of interaction with stuff. So, it kind of makes sense. And it's, of course, long. So, it does a lot of stuff. Hello, Vio. Welcome. Thank you for all the YouTube videos. Make me get RCT again. Big nostalgia. I'm glad for you. That's a great feeling, the nostalgic feeling. Having had that many a time myself. Not necessarily on this game, but that's a great feeling. How's mathematics going? I can only do simple calculus. What? I don't know what that means. I don't really do anything with mathematics. And calculus ain't simple. We might need a few more mechanics. Depending on the fination. So we have about 6.5 months left. We need 335 more guests. We're going to get to that at this rate, but it's not like we're easily going to get it. We do have to think, take a bit of care, make sure we get it. Are we still researching new rides? Only roller coasters. I don't need more roller coasters. I want other stuff. I kind of want more flat rides, just for variety. There we go, plenty of roller coasters, hot damn. Advertising. Well, no, because I don't wanna. We could, it's already there, but I don't wanna. Forbidden by me. Are you just saying that as a joke, Mr. Vetters, or were you actually the one who suggested it? I would not remember if I came up with it myself or if someone like you suggested it. Okay, so the guest camp is nearly there. This is one hell of a turny track to drive. This shark really turns me on. Yes, but what doesn't turn you on, Slime? Let's be honest. The off switch, of course. Why would you assume that Slime is not a switchophile? Because for all we know, he could be. I'm glad that OpenRCT2 added more variation to the go-kart start. The original choices were very boring. Yes, and it kind of feels very natural to me now already, but all these bigger turns, any turn bigger than one single tile is an OpenRCT2 thing, and so is the ass-bend. If you enable the all drawable track piece cheat, you get steep pieces as well. And sloped turns too. Which are great. But there are no sprites for that for the vehicle, so they look a bit goofy. Okay, we're very nearly there. Right now it's also just a thing of right breaking down a lot. Because they're getting a bit on with age. But I also can't really afford to renew them. Because I have like no monies. Okay, what are we researching? Don't know yet. Let's build a second crooked heist. We could also do a second rotor drop. I believe we have only one of them. Yes, no one's there. So we may bless the other side of the park with a rotor drop as well. Because I am just that generous. And that's why all the guests like me and no one is afraid of me. Oh, Slime forced me to drink some water 26 minutes ago and I didn't see it. Ah, that's good. Better late than never. Drink some water again. Do you want me to die of water poisoning, my friend? Do you enjoy forcing liquids down my throat? Now that is a good rotor drop. I like how the rotor drop has an insane nausea rating. It's the same as its intensity and it's just 8.6 already for not even that tall a design. It doesn't even go 100. Would be very poetic if you were the one that died of drowning. I could make that a reality. You know, we're in the Netherlands, there's plenty of water around. Although I don't have a desire to stop drowning people in this game yet, so let's not do that. Getting a, oh, god damn it. I'm like, yeah, more flat rise, let's reach yours. It's Skrill and Gentle Rise, and then we're getting a bloody monorail cycles. Just new. Ew. Monorail cycles. Ew. Okay, let's actually do. They're complaining about length of queues. Well, they can stuff their complaints where the sun don't shine. Okay, how about before we build any more rides, we build a path for them to connect to. And I guess just a path for people to walk. This is kind of expensive though. But oh well. There we go. Now we're at least not gonna have overcrowding problems, though it doesn't seem like we're gonna have that anyway. Park is reasonably big. Let's do a mini golf. I think this is a decent place. Right on top of the big hill. For those who don't know, this is not just the big hill, this is the big hill that exists in pretty much all the scenarios in the game. Well, how many was it? Probably like half? No, it was 26, I believe, out of 87 original scenarios. So that's about a third. 30% if I remember correctly. Which is still a lot. And pretty much no one ever noticed. I mean, there were a few people talking about it before, which inspired me to make the video. Dirklink among them, but there were more. But no one noticed ever the extent until I did the research. At least no one that I saw talking about it. And also, of course, when we say no one noticed it, as a kid, no one noticed it. You might have noticed one similarity here or there, but not to the extent that it was done. Although, of course, there will be someone somewhere who proves me wrong and who did notice it. That is mini golf. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. That is better, meine Freunde. It's very dark and rich colors, this. Not green. Now we already got green path here. Yeah, a bit of variety in the color. 2986. If all rides are operational, we will have over 3000 soft guest cap, but we do have Ferris wheel 2 broken down. German mentioned. I mentioned Germany relatively frequently on stream, I think, like compared to how often I mention other countries. It is my neighbor, after all. And I don't hold a grudge over what happened 80 years ago. So we're pretty good neighbors. Look at that, people are immediately heading for it. Because for some it's the only ride they have. Well, I'm not sure if anyone's ridden every ride here. Oh, at least they're going for it. My neighbors are better than yours, they have nice chocolate and beers. Well, your closest neighbors anyway. Germany is also your neighbor. But at least my neighbor doesn't have shit roads. Well, I know where the complaints are coming from. This bastard of a ride. a 12-minute queue time. Which is in reality only 6 minutes. Because queue time is kind of doubled. At least what it displays. Holy shit, mini golf. Yeah, some guys would probably think that, if they could. If they were allowed to think swears. Oops, wrong button. Hey, this guy thinks stand-up roller coaster 1 was great. He's got a good taste. Looky at that. Isn't that nice? He likes it. Okay, what's the next? Top spin. Now that I like. That's a good one. Drown 3993. Duvel still hasn't been able to drown 1444. Who is still around. Trois neuf neuf trois. A good abois. The guy loved you right and has a photo. Clearly he needs to meet Satan. Get in the water. Yes. I mean, that's how we show affection. The ducks. Ah yes, the ducks will have some nice foot as well. Okay, where are them ducks at? Should be somewhere in this direction. Where are them ducks at? There them ducks at. They're still coming. The ducks are coming. Why did you kill them? Because channel point reward. And because urges. The quackening begins, yes. Yay, we got a top spin. I like having a good variety of flat rides. Oh look, we've hit the duck limit. This is of course only a quarter, because they come from 4 sides. Shame they don't make guests panic like in Zoo Tycoon. I don't think guests in Zoo Tycoon will be panicked by a duck. I think that's more reserved for like predators and big animals. My favorite Zoo Tycoon Easter egg is that animals can eat each other, right? A tiger will eat like an anteater, something like that, or gazelle. Lions eating gazelles, of course, a very common one. Well, penguins will eat camels, which is an Easter egg. Put in by the developers. Although I'm slightly afraid that I'm now misremembering it and it's like one of those merry-go-round will explode things. Like, I'm sure I remember this. I'm sure I remember testing it. I'm pretty sure I even tested it on stream. But right now I'm not absolutely sure. And would not be completely surprised if someone said, no, that never happened. Because I do have to be careful claiming kind of like weird things about video games I'm not an expert about. Because I might be wrong and be one of them people that I find annoying in this game. Okay, I'm not the only one who remembers it, but then again, that's not a guarantee. Okay, we're getting very near 3,000 guests, so we still have half a year left for less than 100 guests. That's probably going to work. Look at that, the ducks all come down with the sickness. The cheat name to make guests panic in Zoo Tycoon is Alfred. Is that a reference to something? Also, there's a cheat I like, which is, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's Shift plus 4, or maybe Shift plus F4, which gives you a lot of, which just gives you money, but it also makes your fences rust. So if you do it too much, they get out, the animals can get out and escape. The trick, of course, to do that a lot before you start building, is that you don't have any fences yet, in which case it doesn't have a downside, except it weighs on your conscience for cheating. The ducks should land in the water right. Now that is a thing that is harder to program. Alfred Hitchcock, the director of the movie Birds. Right. I heard the name Hitchcock, but I didn't really know what he did. Fences rust in this game. No, that's the Zoo Tycoon what I was talking about. Hey, we again got the park with the worst foot in the country. Yeah, we don't have enough variety. I have not researched stalls at all. We should probably build some topspins to make sure our soft guest cap is high enough. I already built one. Ooh, that doesn't look safe. We're gonna go around it. That totally works. And we're probably gonna get another new Flat Rider thrill ride soon. Which is always neat. In Zoo Tycoon, the Emperor penguins appear peaceful and even dance when their exit suitability is 90% or higher. But due to a coding error, the penguin can kill almost all animals. As a reference to this oddity, there is an unlockable animal introduced in the sequels expansion, Zoo Tycoon, extinct animals known as the Killer Penguin. Really? I thought it was just an Easter... I remember reading about it being a deliberate Easter egg as a reference to one of the developers. But then again, that is a very classic thing that you could just be wrong. Maybe I read that. Maybe I did read it somewhere and they were wrong. Like, my memory doesn't necessarily have to be wrong. Maybe whoever wrote it was wrong, or my memory is wrong. I don't know. Yeah, this is what I found Googling. Yeah, you didn't test it either, did you? Hang on, do I have Zoo Tycoon installed? Can we test this? Where's my... Do I have like an exe? Yes. Okay, this might be a bit loud. If it's loud, I'm going to turn the volume down as soon as I can, but I'm going to start up Zoo Tycoon. Let's pause this. Does that work? I double clicked it. Let's try again. No, it doesn't seem to be working. That's a shame. That one? Oh, well that one does at least something. We're missing an IJL15.dol. Yeah, I think this is not going to happen, unfortunately. I've got a few weird files. I've got a JPEG file here. Huh. Well, then just no. Then we're just not going to do that. Because I'm not going to try to fix that on stream. Okay, we have enough rights to get all the guests now, I presume. So we can focus a little bit more on decorating. My Zoo Tycoon won't load unless the CD is in, even if it's installed. Well, I have ran it. Not on this PC, but on my previous PC. Without the CD. So, nice possible. Well, maybe I have mounted it virtually. Okay. Couple fences. And we have another little garden. And a statue, because why not? Another statue, because why not? We are running out of money though. This stuff ain't free. Garden Ramsay. I'm trying to do a reference relating to gardens, but can't think of a good way to twist it words to fit gardens. I'm not that quick on my feet. Or on my brain. Whatever. Plants vs Zombies. I have even played that on stream, I believe. That was a good game. The mighty giraffe statue. Yes. We've got the giraffe here and then his 4 guardians. Oh, and of course his wife. Who is standing opposite him. They are so hopelessly in love. We need just a few more guests. We've only got 3 months. Do we have a lot of broken down rides or something, or just a lot of people leaving? You know what, to prevent more people from leaving, I'm gonna just make a bunch of stalls free. Because I'm 100% sure that most of the guests that are leaving are doing so because broke. Because, you know, we've got no atoms. Okay, what have we just researched? Circus. Sure, why not? Although maybe it solved guest cap issues as well, so... Damn it, I can't afford this ride. Drink some water. Again? You want me killed? I ate 500 grams of blueberries today. I'm already enough. Now you want me to drink water as well? Yeah, no, we're just not getting any new guests. I need to build the cheapest ride I can. Okay, that was pretty cheap. Why are we not getting gas though? It's just every ride broken. There's only one ride broken down. Like, our soft gas cap should be well over 3,000. Okay, we're getting some guests. You will be killed is such a funny response, like the drinking enough glasses of water per day will send hitmen after you. No, drinking too many glasses of water a day will send hitmen after you. Yeah, our soft gas cap is plenty high, so that should be fine. 31.91. Okay, we're finally going to kill 1444, who may already be gone by now. No, they're still alive. They need to pee. Well, no one sees if you pee while engulfed by a million ducks. Can we expect another Marcel Plays RCT video? You said Marcel Plays YouTube. Which is going to be an interesting video too, but I presume you mean Marcel Plays RCT. Or Marcel Plays YouTube video. That also works. Never mind. Love getting high and watching you build pretty original parks. Well, maybe at some point. I don't know, I need to be motivated for. What's next anyway? Let's see. We've done Millennium Mines and Carts and Coasters would be next. That would be an interesting one, because that's an ugly park. They would need to prettify that. Yeah, you are watching a live Marcel Plays RCT. That's kind of what I do on Twitch, although of course the video is not as neatly edited and generally less scenic. I also build very much slower live than I do when I record a Marcel Plays RCT video. Because live, I don't need... Live I need to commentate, answer questions, might get distracted and all that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure if we'll ever be in the positives again. But we do have the 3,000 guests required. Oh, you did rename right. I see you did, yes. To holy shit, it's a minigolf. Can we do that? Is that long enough? Do we have enough space for that? Yes, we do. How much do we have? A few characters. With wiggle room, and I do like to wiggle. Let's fast forward a bit, shall we? Yeah, I think we have built our final ride, because we are never going to be in the positive. Well, maybe if we stop researching rides. That'll save us a bit of cash. Yeah. Fire some handyman. Maybe a few mechanics. That should help. We got an award. Is it a positive one? Yes, that'll help too. And look, it's the Duck Exodus. I mean, that looks amazing. Absolutely brilliant. Imagine boating there. Although they don't seem to have any issue with boating through support, so maybe they don't have any issues with the ducks either. And there they go. Whee! Leaving planet Earth for good. There are still some ducks around. It's already 10th of September. They still have not left yet. It is theoretically possible for a duck to stay around all the way through September and October. And then just not leave. I'd say theoretically, the chance is very, very small. I don't know how small, but I did once, did a test with like 3,000 ducks or something, and they didn't, everyone left before even September had gone. We were basically doing that test here. You know, almost all of them are gone and it's not even half September. So the chance that they also stay through October is pretty damn small. Is that all of them? No, there's 2 left. 1 left. And he's gone. Less than 3/4, about 2/3 through September, all of them are gone. So the chance that any... Yeah, this was 1,000. It was like 2,000, 3,000-ish ducks. The chance that any stay 3 times as long as the longest one here did is almost 0. You know, if we're gonna be negative, we might as well treat the guests. And hire a few entertainers. Oh yeah, the rides are of course breaking down more often because they're on 30-minute inspection times instead of 10. So we're never going to build anything again, but we will have happy guests. And they're taking pictures! Yay! Whoa, I stopped on 666 exactly. Cool. That's gonna put us very much in the negatives though. Let's see, so far last month we paid 2,800. We're going to have only 1 expensive payment this month. Let's see how far it puts us in the red. September is nearly over. We might as well start researching again. At least the mechanics can keep up now. 13,000, that's pretty good. Is this the combined desert map? Yes. Maybe if the debt gets large enough it'll underflow. Well, you're gonna need to have to go to several quintillion. Which takes a while. So I don't think that's gonna happen. Okay, let's look at some statistics. So, the most profitable ride is Infinicoaster because it sells pictures of your mom. Most total customers is Infinicoaster. It's a very new ride. Well, 2 years ago, it's not that new. It feels new. And then Monorail 1, which was there from the start. Total customers are now, yeah, Infinity Coaster the most, and between Raspberry and Chariot as well, but that's a very new ride. Total profit, Wooden Coaster 1, ooh. Running cost, stand-up roller coaster. What? Oh, because the 3 million chain lifts. Queue length. Reliability got a few at 100%, but those are of course all non-breakdownable rides. Downtime. Damn! Does this not have an exit or so? Is the exit blocked? Oh. Huh. I did remove the wall. But I apparently did not... Hang on. Ha! We can do that. That doesn't cost any money if you rebuild the same bit of path on a bit of path. So I can actually connect that. Oh, and the mechanic is already in there to fix it. So, lesson, build your exit after you remove the wall. How does the slide break down? It just had a really tough time at work recently and it couldn't handle it anymore, so it broke down. Guest's favorite is Splash Boats 1. It's got a high excitement, presumably. Yeah, 8.1. Excitement is Wooden Coaster 1 and then Splash Boats 1. Then between Raspberry and Cherry. Intensity, ooh, 9.85 on the standard, but none over 10. And we got a whole bunch for the babies in the park as well, with like 1 or 0 intensity. Nausea, the rotor drops, yeah. Damn the laydown coaster though, 7.7. That, I mean, we got punchy helixes on it. Those do give nausea, so it's not too unsurprising, but still, you know. Lol, car ride 1, 0.01 nausea. That's the lowest nausea that's possible. That's not just 0. Because, you know, the mini golf will just always have 0 nausea. But apparently the car ride can have 0.01. Which is a bit random, if you ask me, but alright. Ooh, and how about them stalls though? Total customers, drink stall, balloon stall, drink stall, and burger bars. Profit, balloon stall 2 has been very, very popular. I mean, yeah, it is on a straight through, that helps. And we used to sell them for $2.20 before we made them free to keep guests around. Guests prioritize thirst, then balloon, then hunger. I like, yeah, it kind of seems like that. In reality, they don't really prioritize balloons at all. I'm not sure if they prioritize hunger or thirst, actually. I mean, that's a fairly easy test to do, of course. But, you know, we'll do a little test after this park is over. And before we start the next one. We'll see whether guests prioritize hunger or thirst. When they have both. Because, I don't know. Lol, we're 47,000 in debt now. Ain't nobody gonna pay back that loan. It's funny, we can't pay back the loan. But we can go further into debt by paying our staff. Which is weird. So we're nearly 3,200 guests, and our guest spawning has slowed down very much, but guests are also not leaving. There we go. We got 3,000 guests, or we got 2,400 to 3,200. And that's a good going. So I really enjoyed this scenario. It's a modern take on an old classic. To use some stupid critic language. But no, you know, 3 scenarios combined that we all know and love, and it's fun. Well, I'm not sure everyone loves Sudden Sand, it can be a bit punishing. It was fun and quite challenging, although partly because I made it challenging by not using advertisements, which would have made it a lot easier. Also, we are now nearly 60,000 in debt. Okay, let's do the test. Do guests prioritize hunger or thirst? And what we need to do is we just need to give them enough time to, you know, I'm gonna make this slightly longer. Just to make sure that they have absolutely enough time to think about where they want to go. And then we do this. Put foot on one end. And no, those are the same. Are they the same length? That's 4 tiles, that's 4 tiles. Is it me or does this bit seem shorter than that bit? They're both 4 tiles. Okay, now what we do is quite simple. Just remove all the guests, then we spawn 1,000. Make them all very hungry, all very thirsty. Let's just equalize all their other stats. And then those are 1,000 guests. You don't count. Neither do you. Might as well close the park. Let's see where they go. Do they hunger or do they thirst? Or is it random? I could look it up in the code as well, but this is more fun. It seems random. Yeah. Well, most of them actually haven't made a choice yet. Oh, that makes sense, because hang on. I also need to give them maps, otherwise they're still too far away for most of the time. Oh, and I need to open the park. But it seemed 50-50. Let's see. 1,000 guests, hunger, thirst, park maps. There we go. Again, these are 1,000 guests. And we currently got 202 heading for each. It's still increasing. Okay, so not everyone will make a decision before they get here. But it seems pretty 50-50. A few be checking their map. But of course, when they arrive at them, whether they've made a choice or not, they'll always buy, because they're still hungry, and if they just happen to stumble into one, then they always buy. Although, did they? Because they're not buying? Maybe they didn't all buy. I'm not sure. We can also look at this in the code, which is... I've seen this bit of code plenty of times. So if we go to hungry... There we go. Ah yes, this is why it's random. So this is where they can go through a bunch of thoughts. If their energy is less than 70 and their happiness is less than 128, then they can think they're tired. If they are hungry and don't have a drink or food, then they can think they're hungry. If they're thirsty or don't have a drink or food, then they can thirsty. And if they need to pee, then they can think they need to pee. Oh, they also can think that they're poor. Running out of money. And then it just does a random one of them. And then here it's depends on which one it is, and then that's where it will make them actually head for that particular type of stall that helps them. You know, if they be foodie, then they want food. If they be thirsty, then they want drink. If they be toilety, then they want pee. If they be cashy or no cashy, then they want cash machine. And they head for it, try to find it. If they have a map, they can look further away. And that's how that works. And now most of this stuff have... Oh, all of them are leaving? I guess because of overcrowdedness. Made them unhappy. Yeah, you're not so happy anymore now, are you? Can you get a coaster train to go on paths without disabled clearance checks? Using the open RST2 miniature railway crossing. Will that stop the guest? Probably. Let's give it a shot. So we're gonna need that one. I mean, I'm pretty sure they will stop for... Oh, right. Can't go on it like that. Then we need To go around. Ground gas 616. Yeah, they're not there anymore. Do not forget the station. So if we do this, there's not a coaster train, of course, but the train doesn't really matter. The gas that are already on the rails will just be flattened, and the other ones will not wait all the way, actually. I do wonder, though, if we get a few more guests going. Oh, I need to open the park. Oh, that's why they're all leaving, of course. They bump into the entrance and then it's closed and then they leave. How does this work? You can see them stopping for a bit and then continuing again. But the thing is, when this train is here, which will clearly hit that guest, right? This guest doesn't see it and continues walking anyway. And then gets absolutely, well, not flat because it's immune. But yeah, you can do this with roller coaster trains as well if you like. You know, if you do show operating modes, then we do a launched mode. Oh, and we of course go to unlock operating limits. Because why not? I can do a few laps. Yeah, 182 is probably enough. And we'll do... what shall we do? Dinghies. Disable vehicle limits. There we go. Wait a minute. Why are they banked? Not in the turn, but only outside of it. Why are they banked this entire way? Well, they kind of stop being banked here. And then they stop being banked much quicker when they enter the station again. Well, I say this is one train. Why is the limit 922? Because I believe it's in miles. Although 655 times 1.6 is not 922, so I don't know. I don't know. But there's got to be some like limit there, which has to do with the power of 2, because it always does. But yeah, these guests are being constantly penetrated by nitrogen-inflated dinghies. Yeah, some guests are waiting for the thrill dinghies to pass through, which will never finish. Well, actually, they do move. They don't wait forever. They just move kind of slowly. How do you know they're inflated by nitrogen? Well, they explode when they hit something. I'm pretty sure that's proof that they're inflated by nitrogen. But yeah, you can totally do this, and if we make it short enough that, you know, like 80 cars, that might be short enough that will actually properly leave the station. Oh, it stops. Oh, it's only doing one lap. I want more laps. Nitrogen wouldn't make them explode. Oh, right. Hydrogen. Or nitroglycerin gas. Whatever. Whatever it exploded. You know, I'm not a chemist. Although I did have chemistry for the entirety of high school. Why does this have good stats? Why do we have 9 excitement and 6 intensity? I mean, it's a miniature railway, but it does not measure lateral g-forces. I did not expect this to have a very high excitement rating. If this was a dinghy slide, this would measure lateral g-forces, and this would be absolutely screwed. What happened if we change it to a dinghy slide, though? Limb coast is close enough. Okay, yeah, no g-forces were measured, so they're all the very default. But let's retest it. And let's see what we get now. Ah, there we go. 37 lateral Gs. Now that's more like it, isn't it? Remove one track piece with the tile inspector. Oh, we can do that. So, tile inspector. That was not sped up. That was normal speed. I want to do it again. So wait a few laps so that's fully sped up. How about this time we do something in a turn? Oh. Right, that doesn't quite kill it yet. Ah, there we go. There's our machine gun. Like, that's just an incredibly fast launch. And you can, of course, do that across entire park. So if we, for example, pick our very own mega park, then we can launch something across mega park. Which, in fact, I did. Yeah, that's, oops, that's a crash, go-karts. But I did actually launch something across this park for a video. I forgot which, but it was one recent video where I... Maybe it was the shortest ride ones, where I launched from like here up until that hill. Although I don't think I used cheats to launch it at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But you know, that's part of the fun. So let's get a Giga Coaster, that's what I used then as well. A little bit of track. How far does it go? I'm pretty sure it'll fly across the map. If we launch this at 999, I think that should go across the map. There we go. We only need one train, but let's make it 33 cars. Oh yes, easily. Hang on, what if we make it bigger? I'm just gonna make this 1,000 by 1,000. Let's see what happens then. How far can we get it? Or 99 by 999. Which is very, very large. Just look at it. This is already a large park. This is 999 by 999. No one ever needs a park that big. But what we can do is just quickly get this to the other side of the park. So that we launch it... Oh, a right's in the way. Stupid right. There we go, now we can launch it from the other side. Let's see how far it goes. Whee! They've become invisible. Damn. Hang on. That's still the opposite side of the map. We just hit an invisible wall. We've just skipped over the entire ground. Because look, it's high up there. What park is this? This is my old mega park, but expanded to be a bit bigger. Slightly bigger. We made it 1,000 by 1,000. But yeah, you can launch this across the entire map. Which is pretty cool. Let's do that again. Whee! They become invisible because they're too high up. And there it hits the invisible wall. What you can of course also do is if you enable another cheat called enable all drawable track pieces, then the Giga Coaster goes vertical. And that means we can launch it straight up, baby. What about the land? Oh, I think we hit like kind of like the edge of the map. If we launch it a bit more in the middle, then that should be less of a problem. So if we take that away. Then launch it a bit more towards the middle. Or maybe it will still be a problem. I don't know, you know, we're pushing the very edge of what the game can do. It's somewhere here. We're topping now. Topping out. And we're going down. Wait. I thought we had reached the top. What's going on? Is it crashed? Nope, nope. Nope, we're still crashing. Are we gonna land at some point somewhere? I've had a very long time to save this ride by double closing it. Oh! We've landed underground. We've crashed so hard that we have landed underground. Which, yes, is a thing that I forgot exists, but I have seen it before. If you... Whoops. There's my sound. There we go. Now it's fixed. If you crash something hard enough into the ground, then it will crash underground. Like, that's above ground, that's underground. Also, we thought we did it straight up, but look. That's where we went up. This is where we came down. That's not quite straight up. So let's see what happens if we do smash it into the ground. Like a banana. Quick little maze. Oh yes, these guests are all loving it. The best gentle rides. Yes, very gentle this ride. Okay, let's see where it crashes. Yep, underground as well. Well, that's just kind of the bottom of the world, presumably. Let's see. Screw your support limits. Yeah, looks like the bottom to me. And I am an expert on bottoms. Hang on, does it still go underground if there's no ground to go under? Oh, whoops, that was the maze that I double closed. Oh shit, I expulsed all the guests. Oops. Yes, it still goes underground. The explosion is still underground. Holy crap. Like, it's further down than -9 meters. Because this is at -9, right? Yes. Damn, I did not expect that that to happen. Where is it crashing against that? Because I thought -9 was the bottom of the world. It's possible to change the maze to launched mode and have it do something different. Let's have a look, shall we? I don't know what this means, but we're launching a maze at 900 kilometers an hour. Let's see what happens. I've never tried this. First we do need a guest to go on it. Let's connect that up there. Higher chance. There we go. What will happen with you? Aw, nothing different. I thought he would die or something, but alas. How about rotating lift mode? Whatever the hell that does. Nope, still behaves normally. Why does extending the path give people a higher chance to enter? Yeah, it's because if they come from the other side, then it's just straight on. So, it appears mazes just can't be affected. Oh yeah, this ride. We're on the chain lift. These things constantly go back and forth. Which has no effect on the stats in this game, but my god. It looks hilarious. And would absolutely kill you IRL. After that, I believe they don't do anything. I think they just kind of only do that on the chain lift. Making the chain lift the most horrid part of the ride. Yeah, don't seem to do anything here. Just on the chain lift. Ooh, that turn seemed forceful. Yeah, 2.55 Gs, that's not low. Right, what else shall we launch? It does happen if we put this in like rotating lift mode. Okay, just departs the station normally. Wait, what? What just happened? It just stopped and returned. I didn't expect that to happen. You know, it's fully out of the station, it stops. And then it returns, kind of a rotating lift mode. I think that's a roto drop mode. Which I did not expect it to do this. Okay, so how does then downward launch mode work? What'll it do here? Okay, it actually gets launched. I think it just gets launched. Rotating lift mode. Oh yeah, observation tower, of course. Duh. Okay, this is boring. It will not crash. It will actually... Well, it might crash when it gets back to the station. Now that I think of it. Will it? No, it will not. Well, this is actually a successful ride. With 3.38 acquittement. Race mode. Yeah, but we're gonna actually... Then it will just do that and either crash or not crash at the end. And we need guests for that, which... To fill this thing with guests. What about swing mode? Ah, that just does stuff for the first car. It is swinging 255 times though. Which is quite a lot. So I don't think the guests will particularly enjoy it, especially being phased out of existence. Seems a bit... I don't know if it's painful, but it may be unpleasant at the least, you know? I probably wouldn't want to do that. What kind of park is this? This is Marcel Messes About Park today. It's also my old mega park, but we have put a Giga Coaster into swing mode. We have previously launched it all over the FAF. What if we try a coaster car that can do vertical sprites with swing mode? Oh, good point. So we'll take, for example, limb trains. Oh, it still disappears. Well, the limb trains can do the full range of motion, because, you know, loops and stuff. But it unfortunately still disappears. I had hoped better. That's a shame. What other fun modes can we put this through? Film Avenging Aviators. Okay, it rotates differently. It tries to do a motion simulator, of course. Holy crap, that's a fast rotation. I don't think motion simulators do that. Damn, no, they don't quite rotate that. Holy... Geez, that seems ridiculous. How about Space Rings mode? That just does similar things. Kind of expected that one. Berserk mode. How berserk will that go? The Aviators one was worse. That was berserkier. Haunted Heist mode. I'm pretty sure that will do very little. And then something at some point. Yeah. That's when the haunted house lights up and the skeleton goes through to the window. That's the only animation it's got. So it just doesn't do much until that plays. And then it freaks out a bit. Like so. Free fall drop, what does that do? Nothing. Oh, it did a thing. It actually worked. We got 0.33 excitement. Circus mode, as suggested by Waluigi. What does that do? Nothing, it seems. Are we done yet? No, we're not done yet. At some point, this will be done, and we'll get the stats. Right now, it's just circusing. Which doesn't look... I mean, it makes sense. The circus, as a building, has no animation. It plays a few sounds. But the building itself has no animation. So naturally, this one won't do anything either. But yes, Reckless there is a haunted heist skeleton. And I'm pretty sure it will appear in that window. Or maybe it's on the other side, but... let's just wait. Just put it in test mode so that it definitely goes. There it is. It will appear again soon. And it will scare the bejeebus out of you. And it goes quite fast. That's also why, there it is, why the cars went quite fast. Because this skeleton moves a lot. So if you put it on any other thing, that thing will also move a lot when you do that. So is there anyone else in the chat who would never notice this skeleton? Because it's a thing that you could definitely miss. Like there are other things that we have missed for a very long time. Actually, the circus mode could be used on coaster trains like stadium seating. And you can have a custom circus building. Not exactly sure what you mean, but I guess that's not for me anyway, more for people who make intricate parks and stuff. I always thought it was a ghost, not a skeleton. Interesting. Like, that's a skeleton, right? Hang on, I'll try to pause when it comes up. Just to think that's definitely a skeleton. Now I have... Like, I'm assuming that's a skeleton. The advanced frame by frame. That looks pretty skeleton-y to me. Okay, oh, it's also on this side. Oh, now it's... that's messed up. It's in normal mode. Why is that messed up? Kind of looks like ghosts from here as well. I always thought it was a skeleton. Honestly, I could see it as both. I mean, the fact that it glows just because it's lit up from a lightning effect. I don't know what it was intended to be, actually. Does it say anything in the description? Scary corridors and spooky room. No, it doesn't. So we can't get anything from that. I do remember that was at some point like either an article or something that was about how the haunted house was the most complicated, one of the most complicated 3D models that they made for the game. And I can see it, it's quite intricate. And of course it's animated as well. Get Chris on the phone. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he won't even remember. What about the thing that it says in the mode tab? Haunted heist mode. It says the same here. So, that's not gonna work. Someone told me that when the guests in the park are lost, they scratch their head like, where the hell am I going kind of vibe. And it's the same when people can't find the exit. They'll scratch their head in disbelief. Yeah, that happens. I'm not exactly what causes that, but it does happen. Let's see if we can make it happen. So now, if we go to, for example, Dynamite Dunes, and then we take. Let's see if we can just make it happen if they. Oh, they're already leaving the park. Let's see, will they stop? I should not watch them, because then that can interfere with it. Because I have seen it happen. It happened in my video about maps. Oh yeah, there it happened. They just stopped for a bit. It was just too short for me to react. But it happened in my video about maps. So let's make them all want to go home. Okay, that ought to do it. Let's wait until one of them scratches their... Yeah, there we go. Red just did that. Again, I'm not exactly sure what causes it. But it's something. Can I pause quickly enough when someone does it? Yes. Yellow does it. And I can't find the park exit. Apparently they also do that in the maze. Could be. But yeah, it's a thing they do. I do have a video idea where it's just explaining all the little animations. Because there's lots of them. There's of course this one as well from someone. I thought they needed to pee, but no, not quite. They're walking differently. They're kind of sulking a bit or something. I guess it's because they're a bit tired. I think that's what makes the difference. Yeah, these have loads of energy. So if they're tired, they walk a bit differently. The red shirted guy looks like he's not wearing any pants. Looks like. Isn't. To be honest, we should all try Donald Ducking it sometimes, right? Is the guest applauding the only diagonal guest sprite? Possibly. Where is it? The wind scenario. And they do look straight into your soul. I mean, just look at that. With those beady little eyes. Also, they rotate. Isn't that scary? It looks very weird, actually. Can you make them clap forever? Yeah, if you're quick enough, or just pause the game. I don't have a hotkey for my cheats that would speed it up. Hang on. Oh, we can't quite... I need the hotkey for my cheats to do this quicker. Shortcut. Where's the cheat? That's not here, probably. That's all town inspector stuff. Where's my cheats? Open cheats window. Control Alt C. Okay, that's not a useful hotkey. Let's do J. I don't have that assigned to anywhere. So what we can then do... I'll drown red in a minute, by the way. I did see that, but I want this first. We can then do is, of course... Oh, I need to switch tabs anyway. Well, it's faster. I thought I could just spam them, but I do need to switch the tabs, which is annoying. But hear the sound overlapping. Some of them try to keep walking. Well, very energized guests are done very quickly with clapping. There we go. Perfect place to drown someone. Actually, I don't think I can quite drown them there, because you need to drown people like... Hang on, maybe if I just... Yes, that works. Goodbye. Have fun dying. That was guest 69! Was that on purpose? Duvel, did you know that? Did I click on it and did you see that? Or was that a coincidence? Because that would be the best coincidence ever. I did not notice it was 69. Nice. Fire all the staff. What staff? We have no staff. We're no longer playing the scenario that we started this stream with. We're just faffing about now. I can hire some staff and then fire them for you. You know, we can give loads of people their dream job of being an entertainer. Yeah, they've wanted to be an entertainer all their life, being a professional clown. They've gone to clown school, they learned from Krusty. And now they can finally put it in action. They are happy. They've taken out a new mortgage to buy a bigger home, because this place quite handsomely. You know, they've got 3 extra kids, and they can afford it now. And they've got 60 dogs, that they can afford that now. And 33 nannies to care for all their dogs. They can afford that now. They are happy. They're satisfied with their life. And I'm going to take that all away. I'm going to take it all away. Yeah. What am I trying to do? I'm hiring and firing a bunch of staff members and making up stories about how I'm ruining their life. Because suddenly they can't afford their dogs and their dog nannies and their kids and their home. And they're all destitute. The kids, somehow, all like 6,000 of them, got adopted by one very nice family. So the kids are perfectly fine. But the entertainers aren't. They're ruined. They can't afford it with 55 euros a month. Do you know how much 55 is in this universe? Like, that can buy you at least 3 loaves of bread. Like, theme parks are expensive, but bread isn't. Got the Cyclone from Brooklyn? No! No. I don't even know what that is. We're not... We're not that kind of, I should have disabled that, to be honest. I'll refund you the channel points. But we're not in that kind of... we're not in that kind of stream anymore. Hang on, where's my channel point? Rewards. Yeah, no longer doing that one. Well, the staff one doesn't matter. Because we can phone that anyway. No longer name or right. It's a roller coaster. Yeah, but first off, that kind of only tells me to build a roller coaster. Because, you know, when we're actually playing a park, like we finished this one today, I can't build whatever big roller coaster the Cyclone is. So, I also can't build a wooden roller coaster here because we're in debt. I can't build anything here. But normally that would just allow you to pick a coaster type from the list we have available, and I will build that. Get 1,000 entertainers, wait a month to let me know how much they would cost in payments. Well, 55,000. That's pretty easy mathematics there, my dude. You know, we can of course get this park out of that. Pretty easily. $70,000 in that now. Hello, lag. It's not too bad. There's not even any lag at all. Hey, where's my money sprite? Whoops, turned off money. Where are my money sprites? It says show text purchases and animation. I think there were just no sprites left. So that is how you get a park out of the red. You know, pretty simple. Just get 60,000 guests. We made 1.6 million. That weekly profit when we hired all those entertainers. Look at that. This is when we started hiring those entertainers. Can Open RC2 handle 2 billion guests? No, it can handle 65,136 guests at the absolute most. Okay, this graph will soon update. And then all the other stuff will seem like peanuts. What happens when you're putting a very highly angry people on the mini path, stuck one bench on it and put one guard on the mini path? I wondered if we would see anything. No. Well, we would see one thing if you look at a bench. Let's just put a path there and one there. And well, we can hang on. What was again? I need to. Lisa Sterling was the name. There we go. Now she'll litter. So that'll get this litter. And then I need the bench still as well. Angry is Elith Bell. There we go. We do need to give her some energy. And then, yeah, see, the Vandal stopped. That, no, it doesn't really go up at the moment. Oh, she's too happy. I made her too happy that she can't vandalize. Now it should. She's not angry enough. Security guard has a Vandal stopped thing, which is neat. But Edith is currently not vandalizing. Maybe it's only when they get on a new bit of path? Still not. I wonder what's causing her to not vandalize. The litter is really bad. Yeah. No crap. Let's see. Happiness needs to be low, energy needs to be high. They need to be in walking state. They are. And there's a random check. Maybe it's a random check. It's not going on very frequently. And they need to have seen a lot of litter. Well, that they have. They constantly think about the bad litter and the disgusting paths and stuff. Oh wait, if you're angry, then that all doesn't go. Then they should just try to vandalize it anyway. Unless there's a oh, there we go. Vandal stop 7 now. Could be from the path over there. I don't think it is because we won't have a lot of litter. So I don't think that's it. But we do. I did have a lot of Vandals. Oh god, which. Would that just be Vandal stopped? Oh god. Oh god. Okay, there we go. Now that is a lot of Vandal stopped. It's also quite laggy. But it's still going up incredibly quickly. If I remember correctly, this counted up to about 8 million an hour. It's quite a lot. Where are the guests? Uh-oh. I've tried to zoom out. It's frozen. Uh-oh. There they are. Lol. And that's 50,000 guests. And this one vandal is stopping 50,000 guests from breaking a few lamps. And... Wait, we have 60 sold guest cap. What for? We have no ride. Where are the rides that are apparently giving us a soft guest cap of 60? Are they across the park or something? This is not going particularly smoothly. But they don't have an animation of kicking someone out. No. It just... The guest just doesn't do anything and this number increases by 1. In fact, this number is an OpenRCT2 edition that doesn't exist in the vanilla game. So in the vanilla game, they just don't break it and that's it. Which is of course a bit more boring. Okay, what rides do we have? Because apparently we have a soft guest cap of 60. How? I guess it was maybe from... I don't know. Okay, it's a bit easier to see, of course, if we go a bit lower on the guest numbers. So if we go to vandalism, 1024 guests. There you can see it increase quite rapidly, because they're all trying to vandalize. You can also, if you hire an entertainer, you can now see the guest entertained stat go up by 1024 every time. Which is still less than what the vandal does. Wait, Edith Bell has drowned? Are these all called Edith Bell or something? Oh, they're all called Edith Bell. Well, it does work then. I think we have 1024 Edith Bells. Right. Yeah, that'll kill them. Also, those notifications are bullshit. Drown Edith Bell. Which? I just drown them all. They deserve it anyway. Now that is satisfying, isn't it? It's immensely satisfying. Oh yeah, we fight. Well, we don't get a crowd of red faces if we fight the security guard because only one people can vandalize the thing. So if we fire the security guard, they do immediately go. But only one person, and they are in there. It's Edith Bell who vandalized. What a surprise. Look at that face though. Isn't that magnificent? Absolutely wonderful. But yeah, and of course if you then, because they are all Edith Bells. If you do this and you put stuff on it, broken. It's just a walking destruction machine. Jumping fountains can't be broken, right? No, they will always fountain their jump. By the way, it can be very satisfying to look at jumping fountains. I presume this is under J. Like, if I'm smart, I would have named this something like jumping fountains. Yes. Look at this. This is one pattern. And then it will slowly go through all the other patterns. And there's a very clear pattern to this. With how it's going through all of them. But then over time, it will switch to a different pattern and the entire part will switch at the same time. I don't know exactly how long each pattern lasts. Maybe. Ah, there we go. That's a different pattern. That's a very different pattern. This is called... I don't know what it's called actually. But there are 8 patterns, if I remember correctly. And there's like chasers, there's a splitter, there's a... I forgot the name, but there's more. There's like bouncing back and forth. There's a bloom, which I really love. It's great when you're on a big square like this. And we'll see that happen as well. Right now it's very busy. There's a lot of stuff going on. I just think it's amazing the detail that was put into this. Because why do you need 8 different patterns for jumping fountains? It's so complicated for a thing that does barely anything. It can make the guests think that the jumping fountains are great, which do help increase their happiness a bit. But still, they don't do all that much. And yet there's so much thought into it. Just like the guest ride watching, there's so much thought put into that as well. Okay, I think we should be nearing the end. Yes, we now have a back and forth pattern going on. Looks like it. Where 2 opposite ones are jumping back and forth. Which is again a very different pattern. But you can kind of see it sometimes go like this row all goes and then the row next to it doesn't go. So even... Oh, there's the bloom. I love the bloom. It's wonderful. It's really wonderful. I really like it. What is 0-foot coaster? I'll show you in a minute. It's not all that interesting. Basically, I wanted to make a coaster that was 0 feet long by abusing some overflow stuff. I wonder what pattern we'll get after this. Because we haven't had all 8 yet. There's definitely another one coming. Sounds like a jump future topic to me. I've already done that one in the Path Ornaments video. Oh, there we go. Here's the simultaneous bounce. The bouncing pairs, it's probably called. Where pairs of fountains bounce. Which... By the way, this shape that they bounce in is physically impossible. Because they don't do a parabola. It's always a parabola. Well, I mean air resistance, but it's pretty much a parabola. But this looks more like half a circle. And physics don't be like that. So... And the snowballs do the exact same. So yeah, that's not quite how that would physics. I think we've gotten another pattern now. No, we're still on the bouncing pairs, I think. Should get another pattern any day now. There's also one where it kind of keeps on bouncing and when it reaches the edge it splits in 2. Although that of course won't happen on this screen because there's no edges. Yeah, I think that's this one. I think this is the fast bounce. Where it splits in 2 when it reaches the... hang on. Oh, yes. What the... Look at that. That's incredible. I didn't even notice that when I made this video. There's just a constant stream. Oh, we can't see them when we zoom out, but that's absolutely incredible. Well, I told you they split if they hit the end. If they hit the edge, they split it. That's why we got 1 million of them there, because that happens all the time. This will end though, and eventually we'll reach the first one again. I think this might be the first one again. Because this is definitely less thicky now. Yeah, it's pretty much gone. I think it might be the first one again. Well, that's fascinating. Okay, let's see the 0 feet coaster. Doesn't work. Pretty sure. It's going 27k an hour. 5, it's still slowing down. It is 19,973 meters long. But is it also 0 feet long? No. It just maxes out. This might have just changed in newer versions of OpenRCT 2. Because I did manage at some point, I think, to create a coaster that would say 0 feet. It doesn't really do anything. Like, the game uses meters, doesn't use feet. It's just a visual thing for if you're from Country Freedom. But it was just a funny gag. Also, who ever uses SI units? Who measures their coaster on average speed of 2.2 meters a second or max speed 52.7 meters a second? Who the hell knows what that means intuitively? Like, I know it's just a factor 3.6 with kilometers an hour, sure, but no one uses that in real life, right? The chainlift speed. Look at my available chainlift speeds. 2.2 meters a second, 2.6, 3.1, 3.5. That's ridiculous. I found bugs in plugins by switching to SI units. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Hang on, do we have anything here that could... Live ride measurements. Does this work? Well, it just says kilometers an hour. I think this one just doesn't do units. And yeah, this 12 kilometers, that seems to be accurate. Do arbitrary operating modes work on the boat hire? I think I made a launched boat hire at some point. If I remember correctly, it was in a Six Flags Belgium build park with your suggestion. Now, of course, the question is, what did I name that? Did I name it anything starting with Six Flags Belgium? Maybe that one? No. Very much not. I think it also had a stock market crash joke. I think it was one of my earlier streams, so maybe it's just called stream something, because I used to do that. Like, these are just stream and then date, which is a terrible idea, because I can't know what this is. This was apparently a cursed park. I mean, looking at it, it seems to be. Yeah, I should probably at some point go through these and label them. Although I do like the old date on it as well. You can force it probably. Okay, this was... I remember building this. Okay, this was, I believe, my second stream ever. Well, stream on Twitch anyway. This maybe that one? No, this wasn't an electric field stream. I do not remember this one. We also did not build very much. That one's a pre-build. So yeah, we definitely did not build very much at all in this park. These are on my very earliest Twitch streams. Sherwood Forest, Random Park. I think I built this when I had a Google Translate language pack, where everything was put through Google Translate. What? Hang on. What does this just do? Also, we're doing it in meters a second now. Because why not? Right. Yes, that makes total sense. Online multiplayer. Yeah, we've done online multiplayer a bunch of times. Change the temperature in Kelvin. I'm pretty sure someone recently wanted to implement that and the developers were basically like, no. Okay, what's this park? Ah, this is my very first Evergreen one. I have saved this under a different name. I think Evergreen Gardens 1 in filming parks. Heartline. Oh, that's the same park but with the Heartline. Okay. Hey, thank you for the sub, Benderweed. I appreciate it. Oh, look, this is the Cursed Park from the very popular Cursed Park highlights video. With the merry-go-rounds. I was... Okay, there's a bunch of Overcrowded Forest Frontiers things. This is the very first and ugly extreme height stream I did. There's 3 better ones. I've done it 4 times. So quadrice. This is is this a custom park? Surely this is a custom park because I don't recognize this. Terminal Valley, yeah, that's a custom park. Oh, we even got a lot of custom scenery. I do remember now playing Terminal Valley. Did you ever stream Plain or Vault Forest Frontiers? Yes, I did. Let's see, what did I do on Forest Frontiers? Got quite a few Forest Frontiers parks. Let's see. 1 tile, merry-go-round, 22 by 22. We're looking, of course, for the S for stream. Oh, there's no Forest Frontier stream. I do know that the... God, whatever the hell did I call that? There is a Forest Frontiers that I know that I did on stream. Although I don't know what I called it. But I know where to find it. I can find it here. I built this on stream. A long time ago. But I did. I'm still very happy with this roller coaster. It just looks good. And it's actually block braked, you know. Yeah, I quite like this. I've used this ride in a variety of videos. I like this. It looks nice. For one video, I turned it into a mini golf. You are all RCT experts or streamer. What's a physics thing that the game gets completely wrong that's not a bug? Lateral G-forces. Lateral G-forces should increase with the square of the speed, I think. They only increase with the... Not just lateral, any kind of G-force, I believe. They only increase linearly with the speed. And just kind of wrong anyway, you know, way too low G-force for the radii of the turns and stuff like that. I've never looked into it. I'm basically parroting whatever X7 said, but the G-force are just wrong. Although, if you like build a replica of a coaster, then they're reasonably right. So if you go to, for example, Six Flags Holland, this ride has 4.78 Gs, which is roughly less, I believe, than it actually gets in real life. Well, that makes sense, but it's not that much less. It's like half a G less or something, which is reasonably close. But then again, it's not exactly all the same size and stuff as it is in real life, so... Yeah, it's an acceptable break from reality. I mean, pretty much everything that this game does wrong is an acceptable break from reality. For gameplay purposes, of course. Also, trains that have swinging cars should have lower Gs, like bobsled. Yes, because they swing and then turn, but they don't. That doesn't affect them. What's the highest number of guests you've gotten in Forest Frontiers by the deadline? Like 3,000 and something. I've never tried. I mean, I've done 5,000 guests in a year once, but that was not in Forest Frontiers. That was in... Well, probably just called 5,000 guests in a year, right? I hope, otherwise I can't find it. 4,000 guests in 1 year. Oh yeah, this was an earlier attempt where I got 4,000 guests in a year. Maybe it's called 1 year guest record. No. Maybe... year 1. I'm pretty sure that's it. So, half October. Yeah. So we fast forward this. We are just shy of 5,000. Look at that graph. Look at how steep that is. We started here at the start of the year. And we went all the way to nearly 5,000 in a single year. I had to reset this so many times to get the awards. Basically doing RNG manipulation in Rollercoaster Tycoon. These are all the rights to make sure I could get as many awards as possible. But sometimes you just get unlucky. Like it would select a bad one, which you don't want anyway. So I would save before the end of the month. See what award I would get. If it was the wrong one, I would do something that would alter it. Like build an extra ride. See if I got the next one. If I got one then. Still didn't get it. Reloaded again. Did 2 things that altered it. And things like that. Yeah, we got some other rides for things like dazzling color schemes and water rides and gentle rides and that kind of stuff. I did 5k in 1 year. It was called Baxfield. Like 5k in 1 year is suspicious because it's just too high. If you get the 6th one going, basically, look, this is an Excel spreadsheet with a bunch of useful stuff. Oh, we can't go further right. Okay. So now we can go further right. This is the maximum guest probability that you can get from normal stuff. This is the guests. Oh, this is the guests a month you get from normal stuff. This is the maximum number of guests you can get in a single month. 814 if you have all advertisements going and you have probability. Yeah, I apparently can't. I've never noticed that, you know. There's been that for years. 814, which makes, considering we've got 8 months, makes it seem reasonable. But you also got to think, you don't start out with 4 awards. So if we do this like... And that doesn't quite work. If we do this like this, and then we put nice little dollar signs like that, so that don't change. And we make it like March, April. And then, you know what? We make this, we make S9. So, and then that's, you know, guests, month, awards. So in March we have 0 awards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And then we do some R8, R, well, let's do R9, R17. That's 6,600. November, whoops. That's 5,800. But that's only if you have all the advertisements running all the time. Which that's only possible if you charge for both the rides and the park entry, which you can't in most RCT2 parks. So then you're gonna have to remove the rides one, free rides, But he writes it's quite powerful. It's 75 guests a month. So we just do a minus 75 to make it easy. Then you only get to 5200 at the absolute most possible. Considering like that the guest spawning rate averages out about the average. Of course, you can theoretically get one guest every tick, but you know, considering that doesn't happen. And that's also with some OpenRCT2 fixes, because in the original game, if you had 4 awards, that would stay 1 month. Then after that, you would go down to 3, because it would first check if you could get another award, and only then remove the one that was just there that's about to expire. OpenRCT2 changed that order so you can stay on 4, but when I did this video, you couldn't. So if we go down to 3, yeah, 5047. But that also doesn't, you know, at the very start of this, your guest spawning hasn't updated yet. That takes a little bit to update, so you don't immediately get all those guests. They also take a little bit to walk to the park. So then you get still a little bit less. And then the 4900 something that I got is pretty good. You know? Why does it go down to 3 awards? Okay, so when you have 4 awards... Do we still have that here? No. We'll load a park where we do have it. How about award park? It should be somewhere here. Do we have 4 awards here? No, we only have 1. Let's get to 4. Screw it. Let's just load from the... I know, because I know we have a couple with 4 here. For example, this one should have 4. Yes. Okay, so basically what the game did is you have 4 awards, right? And the month is about to end. It's about to become August. I think we're actually... Are we fine there? I think they're still going to stay active in August. No. So the first award that we got just disappeared. And we got a new one, definitely color schemes in place. So you can't have more than 4 awards. So the game has a check. If there are 4 awards, don't give them a new one, even if they qualify. But also awards expire after a bit, of course. And the vanilla game first checked if you could get an award. Saw that you had 4 awards. Was like, nope, that's not gonna happen. Then immediately after, it checked if any award should expire, which the point was yes. It should expire. And then you can't get another one. Yeah, because I think they stay 5 months, right? So one you get at the start of April should go away at the start of September. I'm not sure why they went away at the start of August here now. They should stay 5 months. But yeah, then this should maybe be 4 again. Either way, my point was, someone said they got 5,000 guests just by spamming microcoasters. The fact that I didn't even get 5,000 by optimizing the crap out of everything and even doing RNG manipulation to get an award every single month. I don't think anyone who just spams microcoaster got 5,000 guests. Because that just seems a bit suspiciously high. Because, you know, you do need an award every month. When one expires, there's an immediate chance to give you a new one. Yes, as just happened. One expired at the end of July and we immediately got a new one, the Dazzling Color Schemes. Because now, OpenRCT2 changed that order. It first expires, then you have 3, then it checks if you get a new one, and there's space. So that works now. And it does make more sense, even though it's not technically true to the original. But yes, I don't think that 5,000 was true. But you can get very close to that if you optimize the crap out of it. Right. Whoops, that was my flying coaster thumbnail. Wrong park. So, we played this today, well, and faffed about a lot. Which was surprisingly fun. Just doing random stuff without any kind of goal. But this is also the end of the stream. And let's see if we can rate anyone who plays this game. Piraat Tippy, that's a Dutch streamer. And here we got certain audience. Well, you guys can handle stuff, right? Apparently it's about excessive tobacco use. Or other similar, like, stuff. They also don't seem to be there. The stream is paused. You know what, we'll just rate Lee because he's always nice. Not playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, but that's fine. So, drink some water at the very end. Yes, thank you, dear. So, I'll see you all again next time. In the meantime, have a good night, have a good raid, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye!